A robot just picked up a bolt, screwed it in, and moved to the next task, without anyone telling it to. That robot is about 6 feet tall, weighs 150 pounds, and was just chosen by NVIDIA, the most powerful AI chip company on Earth, as its official partner for the future of physical AI. But here's the twist. This robot isn't made by Boston Dynamics or Tesla. It's made by a company most Americans have never heard of, a Chinese startup that didn't even exist 10 years ago. And NVIDIA just handed it the keys to a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Labs at universities would spend years trying to stitch together a robot body from one company, a chip from another, software from a third, a simulation environment from a fourth, just to get a robot to learn one basic task. It was like building a car by ordering parts from 4 different countries and assembling it with no instruction manual. Most labs gave up. Only the biggest tech companies could afford to try. That's the problem NVIDIA just solved, and the company they chose to solve it with? That's where the real story begins. June 1st, 2026, Taipei, Taiwan. Jensen Huang, NVIDIA's founder and CEO, walks onto the GTC Taipei stage at Computex, Asia's biggest tech conference. And he announces something the robotics world has been waiting years for. The NVIDIA Isaac GR00T reference humanoid robot. The first ever complete, open, plug-and-play humanoid robot platform built for researchers. Here's what that means in plain English. NVIDIA took a robot body, an AI brain, and all the software tools a researcher needs and put them into one single system. One box, one platform. Buy it, plug it in, start training. No more Franken-robots. No more spending 18 months just setting up your lab before doing any actual science. The package works like this. The body is the Unitree H2 Plus, almost 6 feet tall, 150 pounds, with 31 degrees of freedom across its limbs. Add in Sharpa's 5-fingered robotic hands and you get 75 total degrees of freedom. For reference, the human hand alone has 27. This robot can physically handle objects with more articulation than almost any other humanoid on the market. The brain is NVIDIA's Jetson Thor chip, powered by their latest Blackwell GPU, running the full Isaac GR00T AI software stack, which covers data collection, simulation, training, and real-world deployment. All of it in one machine. Stanford Robotics Center, ETH Zurich, UC San Diego, and the Seattle-based AI Research Institute AI2 have already signed up before the product ships. The H2 Plus goes on sale in late 2026, and NVIDIA was clear, anyone can buy it. Now, the obvious question. Out of every robotics company in the world, Boston Dynamics, Figure AI, Tesla, why did NVIDIA pick Unitree? That answer tells you everything about where this industry is actually headed. Here's who Unitree actually is. Founded in 2016 by Wang Xingxing, a mechanical engineer who built his first prototype in a college dorm room in Hangzhou, China, he started with 4-legged dog robots that could match Boston Dynamics' Spot on capability, but sold for under $10,000 when Spot cost closer to $75,000. The robotics world noticed immediately. Then Unitree made a sharp turn into humanoids, and the numbers are staggering. In 2025, they shipped over 5,500 humanoid robots, ranking them #1 in the world by shipment volume, with a 32.4% global market share. Revenue hit $244 million in 2025, up 335% year over year. Gross margin reached 60%, unheard of for a hardware company. And they did it profitably, with $82 million in adjusted net profit. Meanwhile, their biggest domestic competitor, UBTech, labeled the first humanoid robot stock, reported $278 million in revenue the same year and lost $110 million. Unitree made money. Competitors burned it. Compare that to the West. Boston Dynamics has been building robots since 1992, 34 years, and their products are still too expensive and too closed for most research labs. Figure AI and 1X Technologies are still early stage, focused on their own commercial pilots. Tesla's Optimus is built for Tesla's factories, not for the open research community. None of them had what NVIDIA needed: volume, affordability, and openness. And there's one more number that sealed the deal. Unitree's humanoid robots have dropped in average selling price from $82,000 per unit in 2023 to just $23,000 in 2025. That's a 72% price drop in 2 years while improving the hardware. That is not normal. That is the kind of price trajectory that creates mass adoption. NVIDIA didn't pick Unitree because it was the flashiest robot company. They picked it because it was the only one building great hardware that the entire world could actually afford to buy. But picking the right partner is only half the story. What this deal actually does to the robotics industry, that's what changes everything. In the 1990s, Intel and Microsoft set a hardware-software standard that any computer maker could build on. It's called the Wintel standard. Suddenly, hundreds of companies could build PCs without starting from scratch. Prices dropped, adoption exploded. Some analysts are already comparing the NVIDIA Unitree platform to exactly that moment, the potential Wintel of robotics. Here's why that comparison hits hard. The Isaac GR00T platform covers the entire research pipeline: data capture, simulation, AI model training, and real-world deployment, all running on standardized hardware. That means when Stanford trains a robot to sort objects by touch, that model, that data, that simulation environment can be shared directly with ETH Zurich's lab running the exact same stack. Science compounds. Progress accelerates. Instead of 1,000 labs solving the same basic problems, you get 1,000 labs solving 1,000 different problems and sharing the results. The simulation piece alone is massive. Before this, robots needed millions of hours of real-world trial and error to learn tasks. That's slow, expensive, and sometimes dangerous. NVIDIA's Isaac platform trains robots primarily inside a digital simulation, and then transfers those skills into the physical robot with far less real-world calibration needed. Faster learning, lower cost, safer development. And the market this unlocks is enormous. Goldman Sachs projects the humanoid robot market hits $38 billion by 2035. Morgan Stanley says China's humanoid robot sales alone will more than double to 28,000 units in 2026. GGII projects 605,000 humanoid units shipped globally by 2030. That's not a niche market anymore. That's a new industry. Here's the number that ties it all together. Unitree's robot price dropped 72% in 2 years. NVIDIA's platform makes it accessible to any research lab on Earth. And the market is projected to 110 times in under a decade. The brain-body gap is closing, and the speed at which it's closing is about to surprise everyone. So where does this go from here? In the short term, the 4 labs already signed up, Stanford, ETH Zurich, UC San Diego, and AI2, will be the first to publish real results using the Isaac GR00T platform. Those results matter enormously because they'll either validate the platform's promise or expose its limits. If even one of those labs publishes a breakthrough, a robot learning a complex task 10 times faster than before, the floodgates open. Every university with a robotics program will want in. NVIDIA also announced that the Isaac GR00T workflow for the cheaper Unitree G1 robot, which sells for around $16,000, will be available on GitHub and Hugging Face for free. Open source. That means a lab that can't afford the H2 Plus can still run NVIDIA's full AI stack on accessible hardware. The barrier to entry just dropped to almost zero. Then there's Unitree's IPO. On the same day NVIDIA made this announcement, June 1, 2026, Unitree's IPO application passed its listing committee review in Shanghai, targeting a valuation of $6.2 billion. That's a company that was worth $1.4 billion less than a year ago. If that IPO closes successfully, Unitree gets $610 million to pour into manufacturing scale, AI model development, and global distribution. Remember, over 40% of their revenue already comes from outside China. A publicly funded Unitree could become the dominant hardware platform for physical AI research worldwide within 3 years. And the competitive pressure this creates is real. If NVIDIA and Unitree become the standard, companies like Boston Dynamics, Figure AI, and even Tesla face a choice: open up their platforms or risk being locked out of the research ecosystem where the next generation of robotics AI gets built. History shows that closed platforms rarely survive when a well-funded open standard enters the market. Here's the thought that should stay with you. We've spent years talking about AI as something on a screen, a chatbot, an image generator, a search engine. But the deal that happened on June 1, 2026 in Taipei, that's the moment AI started getting a body. A robot that's 6 feet tall, weighing 150 pounds, with 75 degrees of freedom, powered by a $6 billion company's hardware and the world's most advanced AI chip. Jensen Huang called it plainly: humanoid robots will bring physical AI to the world's largest industries, opening a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. The brain-body gap that strangled robotics for 30 years is gone, and the company that helped close it, the one built in a college dorm room in Hangzhou, just became one of the most important names in the future of AI. You just didn't know it yet.